If someone's wanting to, find their purpose, a little bit maybe of like the hierarchy of health, which is one of your amazing trainings, where would they kind of start with finding their purpose, finding out what they actually want to achieve in life?
Yeah. So step number one, if you just want to be more successful, period, right? If you want to be better in your business, if you want to be better for your family, the ultimate thing that you need to do is you need to do what I do. It's called a compare and contrast, or a juxtaposition. What I want you to do right now, like everyone if you're listening to this, I want you to pause this in a second. I want you to write this down, grab a pen and paper. I want you to write down every way that you would describe yourself right now, everything, all the good, all the bad. Describe you as a human being right now. And then once you've done that, right, hit pause if you need to write that down, take a couple of minutes and do it. Now, once you've done that, I want you to go on to the other side and I want you to write down who you want to be, right? And this is everything. I'm talking like how you want to be. Do you want to be shredded, jacked, strong, squat 300 kilos? Do you want to be a millionaire? Do you want to be working 20 hours a week? Do you want to have, time where you can go on holidays with your kids? Write it all down. I want you to write down what you're doing right now and then what you would like to be doing. And what you're going to end up with is you're going to end up with a heap of what I call incongruence. You end up with a heap of different things that don't line up. You're acting in ways currently right now which don't actually serve you or don't get you closer to where you want to be. When we do this initial thing where we look at, okay, this is me right now versus this is who I want to be, it makes it really stark and makes it really, really clear on when we're not acting in integrity with our higher self, because effectively that's who we're creating. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. I actually did a similar task to that on leadership, on what type of leader are you now? What type of leader do you want to be? So it was quite similar. It's very eye-opening as well, because usually it's like, I weigh 100 kilos, I need to weigh 85 or whatever it is. And it's like, well, you can see it pretty clearly. And on that, I guess, when the guys are breaking it down as a task, so you mentioned health, business, relationships, is there any other, kind of tips or tricks you could give them when writing down the initial part of where they're at right now?
Yeah. So there are really 4 key areas within life that we look at. If you want to be really, really fucking happy, if you want to be jump up out of bed, happy every single day, shitloads of energy, just feeling really, really good. And just when you look in the mirror, love what you see. This is what you need what you need to master. You need to do this. I spend a lot of time with my guys on this. Number 1, health-wise, how do you want to look? Right? How do you want to look? How do you want to feel? How do you want to be? Number 2, wealth-wise, what do you want to be doing for your career? How much money do you want to be making? And importantly, how do you want to be making that money? What do you need to learn? What sort of intellectual stimulation, right? That's like the wealth section. Next one after that is relationships. Who are the people around you that you want to connect with? I'm not just talking obviously talking your wife, your partner, your kids, but also your friends. Who do you do business with? Who do you jump on podcasts with? Who do you spend your time around? As the famous saying goes, is show me the 5 people you spend the most time around and I'll show you your future. And there's a 4th one, which not many people talk about. And this is your purpose, or what I call spirituality. Your purpose is your reason for being. Let's be honest, Jimmy, we've all made millions of dollars. We've got heaps of money. We've got all that sort of stuff. And to be perfectly frank, me before making millions of dollars to after making millions of dollars, there's no net change in actual happiness just by the dollar value itself. Yeah, I'd rather be rich than broke, granted. But the most important thing is what are we actually doing with our life? What am I actually doing this for? What is the reason for me living? How many guys do you know are super loaded and yet they're still lost in life? How many guys do you know who've done extraordinarily well for themselves, but they're still not happy? You can nail your health, wealth, and relationships, but if you do not nail your purpose, your reason for being, then you'll always be left chasing more. We see and we look at tyrannical leaders, right, all around the world. Now, I'm not going to get political, right, but there are some. You can go pick your own tyrannical leader. We all know one, okay? And you look at them, they're always chasing more. They always want more. 100 million isn't enough. 1 billion is enough. 100 billion is never enough. They just constantly want more and more and more, and they're never satisfied, right? It's have you ever seen Pirates of the Caribbean? Yep. I think it's what's the Black Pearl one, where there's all the pirates there, and when they step into the moonlight, there's nothing left. They drink. There's that famous one of Barbosa drinks the rum and it goes all the way through his body, and he has thirst all the time, but it's totally unquenchable. That's your life without purpose. Your life without purpose is unquenchable thirst, and you will always be searching for something more until you find that purpose. And yet on the other hand, when you do find that purpose, every single day you live with abundance. It's incredible. It's a brilliant feeling.
And mate, so the health wealth relationships is something I talk about a lot. I think I missed that purpose bit a little bit. And is that a little bit harder to find rather than just how you want to look, how much money you want to earn kind of stuff? Does that take a little bit more soul searching, or how would the guys kind of, what could something we could do to action to find our purpose, in life? Because that's so powerful, the spirituality side, as you said.
Yeah, it is massively. And if you look at how we do it with our guys. So first of all, we just have a lot of conversations. So this isn't something that happens overnight. You don't just, sit down, meditate for 15 minutes. Like, oh, I've got my purpose. This is exactly what my life is for. Or if that, I've never heard of that happening, but if it happens for you, fucking congratulations. You've shortcutted it by like 10 years. But no, what we do with a lot of our guys is we'll sit and we'll just continually work out and nut it out. But roughly the formula that we go through in order to find this out for people is, first of all, when you're old and gray and smelly and you've got tubes up your nose, down your throat, up your butt, down your cock, right? You're about to die, right? You're about to draw your last breath. You just stink. Like, how old people, let's be honest, they smell funny, right? Yeah. You're that, right? What do you want to look back on your life and see? Do you want to look back on your life and say, hey, I worked with a heap of charities and I helped make, recently I was at an event in Toronto and I met with a bunch of different charities who worked with, it was unreal. And all these charities like there's RSPCA there, Guide Dogs, Vision Australia, Assistance Dogs Australia, Happy Paws, Happy Hearts, like a bunch of really cool charities there. And I was talking with all of them, they were all strategizing and whatnot. Do you want to be like them where they look back on their life and know that they helped animals or helped people who are blind or needed assistance dogs? Is that your thing? Or do you want to look back on your life and say, I was an incredible parent? Or do you want to be that person who said, fuck, I made a shitload of money, but I don't have any good relationships. I didn't do anything for society and all I did was feed off everybody else. It's like, do you really want to be that? So the first most important thing is to do that thing. Visualize yourself on your deathbed and see what you want to look back on your life as. Does that make sense?
It's so powerful. It's kind of sending shivers down. I haven't done much stuff like that recently.